What's up, guys? It's Wolf from the Quarantine, and today we're going to take a look at a game called Dreamwell by Action Phase Games. Now, Dreamwell plays 2 to 4 players, plays in about 45 minutes, and is rated for about 14 plus, which I think is probably a little high, actually. But Dreamwell I kickstarted a while ago because I really like the art. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Adventure Time, and the story of the game is like an abstract thought, like dreamscape, and you have friends that are lost there, and you're trying to send your consciousness into the dream world to rescue them, and then whoever has the most points at the end wins. So that's really the best way I can think to explain this game, so let's just go straight over to how the game's played. Alright, this is basically Dreamwell set up, ready to be played. Now, as normal, I have to say that this is a review, it is not a tutorial. So if I miss some rules, or if I skip some entirely, that this should still just give you a basic idea of how the game is played, whether or not it's for you. So what you're going to do is you're going to take these tiles here, and I have everything set up for the basic game, and I'll explain the advanced momentarily. But you're going to take these tiles here, you're going to throw them on the table, mix them up, make them face in all different directions, and put them all down. You have to make sure in the basic game that the light border is face up. Now if you're playing the advanced version, you're going to take so many of these, you're going to flip them over and make sure the black border is face up. You're going to still throw them on the table, shuffle them all up, make them in all kinds of different weird directions, and put them out just like this in a 4x4 grid. Then you're going to take this deck of cards, you're going to shuffle them all up, you're going to give each player 2 cards, and you're going to put 4 face up like that. Then each player is going to take a player marker. This just reminds everybody who is what color. You're going to take one of your color, and then you're going to take your balloons as well of the matching color, and you'll put it in front of you. Optionally, you may give everybody a player aid as well. Now if you're playing the advanced game, when you shuffle all those cards, you're going to take these cards here that have the black border, and you'll shuffle those in there as well. And these cards do different things. They require different combinations and mixed matched cards. There's also a variant where you use, I think it's called the Nightmare mode, where you use this that does all kinds of nasty little things, which I'll let you discover that one on your own, but this is another little variant you can add. And you're going to figure out who gets the first player button. Now you're ready to play. So the ultimate goal is to play 7 of these cards, which I will get into how all that works in a minute. But once somebody plays the 7th card, everybody gets one last turn, and then you tally up victory points, which are here, which again I'll touch on briefly in a moment. But on your turn, you have these different actions you can do. You can move, rotate a tile, play a friend card, draw a card, replace the display, and if you're playing the advanced mode, you'll flip a tile. So now what do these mean? Well, to move, you get a total of 3 actions a turn. So to move, if you don't have anything on the table, or if one of your little standees here are off the table, you can move on any one of the outside tiles. Just you move onto it. So boom, I move onto this one. Or if you have something already on the tile, you can move from one tile to the next, if there's a door that is facing that direction. So here, I couldn't move left and I couldn't move down. Now, it gets a little more complicated than that. If you take these two here, because they're sitting like this, the doors are linked together. So when I move from here to here, because these are on the same side here and they're facing each other, you get a free move with this pawn. So I can move from here to here, and then because there's a door up here, I can move from here to here. Because these were linked, I can continue moving either diagonally off the board or diagonally to this one. So I can move there. So with one action, I move from here all the way to here because the doors were linked. So, I mean, it goes the same way. If I'm here, I can either move up, I can move right, or I can move down. If I move right, I'd get a free move, so I could then go ahead and go here. So that's how you would move these around, and that's a move action. The next thing you could do is to rotate a tile. So any tile that you have a pawn on, or that is empty, you can pick up and basically just put down in any facing that you want it to be. And the reason for that is, again, you're restricted where you can move from the tiles based on where the doors are at. So maybe I'm on here and I want to move up here. So I can go one action to rotate, second action to move. These are linked, so I get a free move, and I go there. Took me 2 actions to get all the way up there. Then you can play a friend card. So what does that mean? Well, if you look at your card here, you have, I need the blue bear looking thing, a polar bear, and I need this background. So using your pawns, you're going to need to be moving them around. So we need the polar bear, we need this thing here. So we have both of these, but neither one of these backgrounds match the background of this card. So I would actually, instead of being on this one, I would actually need to be on that one. If this is how I'm sitting, I can go, okay, I'll play a friend card. So you'll take this, this means you've rescued this friend, and you'll play it face down in front of you. Now if that happens, you get, at the end of the game, you're going to get this many points, and then you get this cool little ability. So this one says, each turn perform a move action for free, so that's awesome. Now if I played another card, so this one's face up here, and now I played this one. Say I had one thing on the evil flower with the dark background and a black goose. So my next card I play, you're going to take and you're going to place over that side of the card. So you no longer get that ability. You still get the points, but you don't have that ability anymore. This is an ability that you have now. So replace the display and draw a card from it. So you would immediately, when you play that card, immediately execute that, because it doesn't say every turn. So you just have to do it immediately. So you have to think about what order you're going to play your cards, and okay, well, how long do I want to be able to exploit this? Because everybody else is playing their cards, and again, first one to 7 ends the game. Doesn't necessarily win, but they end the game. The next thing you do is you could draw a card. So you could draw a card either by just taking one of these face-up cards. So if I took this, it would immediately replace, and if that was my first action, I can go, okay, I'll also take this. There's a replace, and then maybe I want to take this one too. That was all 3 actions, just drawing 3 cards. Or you can draw one off the top of the deck if you don't like the cards that are out. Then the last thing you do is replace the display. As one action, you don't like any of these, you could just go, you know what? I'm just going to discard these and drop out 4 more cards. Now, the reason you may want to not do that and just draw off the top is if everybody sees that you drew this card, everybody knows that you're trying to get this, and this background. So they could be rotating tiles to try to screw you out of getting this to buy themselves some time. So that's why just drawing off the top so nobody knows what you're drawing might be a good idea. There's been numerous times where I'll just spend 1 or 2 turns just drawing 3 cards. Comes back around to me, just draw 3 more cards. That way I have a large selection of cards to be able to draw from. But that's how that works. And then if you're playing the advanced game, you can take one of these tiles and you'll flip it over. So now you have a black facing border face up. Now the way these work is, you on your little player reference here, these terrain are interchangeable. So if you look at the green, it's always going to be black, the dark rainbow. So boom, that's what's on the other side. You go here, the polar bear is always going to be the skull flower. Skull flower is always the polar bear. So you use this to figure out what you need to be rotating and what you need to be flipping. And that is your actions. You get 3 of them, so you're going to be using those to manipulate where you're going. Once somebody has played 7 cards, so let's say, bam, here's the 7 that I've played. These are all face down in front of me. I've played 7 cards. Everybody gets 1 additional turn, and then you're going to do scoring. And scoring is very simple. You're just going to add up the numbers and the hearts. So this is worth 2 points. That's worth 1 point. This is worth 3 points for every pair of the green guy and the white rabbit that you have. So in this scenario, I get no points from this card because I don't have any of him. So I got nothing for this, but maybe I needed this, which I'll explain what that means in a minute. This one, you get 1 point plus 1 point for every blue card. So it's 1, I only get 2 points from that card. This one's worth 2 points. This one is worth 1 point, but it's also wild. And what wild means is for anything that requires a specific card like this stands in as one of those. So for example, I actually would have gotten 3 points from this because my wild gives me that, and it gives me the green guy, and then I have the white rabbit, so I get 3 points from that, and then this is worth 3 points. So you'd add those up, and then whoever has the most points wins. So, what did I mention that I was going to discuss? Oh, right here where it says located. So let's say this is your top card. This is the one that's furthest right, and it's the one that's face up, and well, you can't really see there, but this is the one that's here. So what's going to happen is, if I needed to, let's say this is the card that I really wanted to play, I no longer need to worry about having one of my pawns on this. I just have to worry about the background and the polar bear. So I'd be able to go, alright, we'll put the polar bear here, and then it doesn't matter where this one is, this one can be off field. And I can go, okay, I'm going to go ahead and play this, because I've already located the little black blob. I'm on a white polar bear, and I'm on a pink background, so I go ahead and play this. Bam! Toss it right over top of that. And that's basically how the game's played. Like I said, it's just you're gonna go in a clockwise order, because you're respectable people, and you're gonna take your 3 actions, and then the next person goes. And it's very lighthearted and a very simple game to play. So let's go straight over to my final thoughts, shall we? Alright, Dreamwell. Well, there's not a lot to say about Dreamwell, to be honest. I really enjoy it. It's a light enough, simple enough game that my 9-year-old daughter can play it and she really enjoys it, but there's enough depth and gaminess to it that my game group can also really enjoy it and they really like it. Now, if you're looking for something super strategic, this isn't it, but there is a good level of depth and strategy to it. Because the strategy comes from whoever plays the 7th card just ends the game and everybody gets one more turn, but whoever wins is who has the most points. So there was one game we played, I'm wanting to say it was 4, but it might have been 5 cards that one person got to play throughout the course of the game, and they won because they played the right cards in the right order, and they were able to maximize their points by, I think one of them was like, if you have 3 of this one guy, you get 7 points, and then those guys chained off of the colors, and so they just really maximized their points from it. And then the powers that they would get when they played it allowed them to chain even further and really maximize and exploit his abilities that they needed. And it was a lot of fun. And so that's where the depth and strategy comes from. But then when you introduce the advanced game and then the nightmare variant, that adds even more depth and more complexity where you're having to flip cards. And then now, like the nightmare variant, basically delays people and takes actions away if they enter your area. And so it's got a lot of depth and strategy to it, and we really, really enjoyed it. So that is my recommendation for Dreamwell. I highly recommend it. It's a great little game. So anyways, if you like my channel, you want to support me, check me out on Patreon. Any little bit helps. If you give this video a like, comment, subscribe, I read every comment down there. And I will see you guys next time in the quarantine.